Hi friends, I hope that you're doing well. In this video, I want to talk about the danger of lacking self-love, the danger of the opposite of self-love, which is self-hatred, and how I have seen that manifest in my own life, particularly in romantic relationship, and things that I allowed myself to endure because I was lacking self-love, self-respect, self-care. And so my intention in sharing this is first and foremost to hopefully reach the heart of someone who needs to hear this and can benefit from hearing this. It would make my heart very happy to reach a younger girl, someone who represents like a younger version of myself who experienced these things and would have benefited a lot from hearing someone who is in the position I am in now that has learned from these lessons, that has learned from my own self-hatred or lack of respect within and through relationships, through romantic relationships, and just had some truth and some wisdom imparted upon. So I really do hope that in my sharing of my own personal life experience that it can support someone. And I'm obviously going to be talking about a relationship I was in with another human being. I in no way am trying to shame them. I'm not going to be mentioning names, disrespecting anyone's privacy, any of that. The point is not about them. The point is about what I allowed myself to experience because I did not love, care, and respect myself. So I'm 23 years old now, for context purposes. When I was 14, I entered my first serious romantic relationship, and that relationship was truly hellish in a myriad of ways. But overall, it was deeply emotionally abusive and very negatively impactful to my psyche and my sense of self and sense of worth and value and all of these things, which was already quite low, obviously, in order to enter that relationship, which is the point here of the danger of when you don't love and care for yourself and you are trying to outsource that love through another person, through a romantic relationship. You're trying to fill the void of your own emptiness within your heart, your own lack of presence. You will likely allow yourself to experience cruelty, unhealthy behavior, harm in some way from another person because you're just taking what you can get because you're lacking it from within. And I allowed myself to endure a lot of insane shit within the context of this relationship. I allowed so much emotional abuse. I allowed so much humiliation and disrespect and cheating and lying and just outright cruelty and unkindness to be experienced by another from another person. And so this message is really coming from the heart of someone who has endured that, and I'm not trying to take away from the accountability of another person. Like, we all have free will. We all choose to act and behave in whatever way that we choose to act and behave, and so that is on this boy who chose to do those things, and I'm not taking away from his own accountability. But there's also the accountability of me and of all of us who also have free will and allow ourselves to choose to experience cruelty from someone else. And obviously that does not apply to children and what we experience within our family relationships, but I mean, I was a child when I was in this relationship, but I was still choosing to be with this person. This person was not my family. I'm choosing to be with them. I had free will in that, and so I could have chosen to leave at any moment, or I could have chosen to never got into the relationship. But it lasted for as long as it did, about 2 years. And I entered it because I hated myself. And if you would have asked me then at that age of 14, 15, 16, the age range that I was throughout this relationship, I wouldn't have said I hated myself. I highly doubt if someone would have asked me, Lauren, do you hate yourself? Is that why you're with this man? I don't think I would have said that. But the truth was, yes, that was why. That was why I allowed myself to put up with incredibly emotionally abusive behavior and honestly psychological torture and warfare, because that's what I believed I deserved. And so you have to learn to love yourself, accept yourself, respect yourself, care for yourself deeply, like you would a child, like you believe that any young being deserves to be cared for. You have to care for yourself at that level so that people with those kinds of intentions and that kind of ability to be cruel come nowhere near you. And if they do, are quickly removed from your life experience. Because again, it's a dangerous place to be in when you're lacking that love and respect. The shit that you will put up with, the things that you will allow to be done onto you and to be experienced, and that you'll make excuses for and find all these rhymes and reasons why it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to be abused by someone else in any context. It's also not okay to abuse yourself, which I truly believe that when we're allowing ourselves to be harmed repeatedly and abused by someone else in some form, we are actively engaging in our own abuse and abusing our own selves. And so loving yourself means showing up and saying, fuck no, I'm not going to allow myself to be subjected to this in any way. I deserve better than this. I know that I deserve better than this. And that is an experience, a process that takes time. And especially if you've been in these dynamics where you have experienced some kind of abuse and you have had your psyche impacted in that way, or you have experienced childhood abuse in some form, or trauma, or anything that shapes and impacts the way that you perceive yourself and what you might believe you're worth or not worth. It's a long time. It's a journey that you constantly have to be engaged with. It's a process that you're constantly working with and you're refining. But you have to be active about it, and you have to choose to devote yourself to pouring into your own self-love and your own care and your own respect, and know that you're deserving of it, and no one else is gonna come in and save you. Like, I look back on this relationship and I had people telling me to leave, to exit, that shit is crazy, and I had reached a point in it that I was so like deteriorated emotionally and mentally by what was going on that I almost just kind of like rolled over and like just let it be what it was and accepted it, because that was the level of like self-hatred that I had reached. My best friend had showed me a screenshot of messages between her and I from that point in time, and I had said something along the words of like, yeah, he just like abuses me every day and I just put up with it. And me now reading that is like, Jesus, like that is insane. But me then, that was the norm that I had created for myself, because again, I didn't believe that I deserved better than that. And I truly feel that a lot of young girls have that experience, and I think that outside of our own personal upbringings and the way that that shapes and impacts us and our own self-worth blueprint and whatnot, there's also just the societal pressures to be a certain way, and then you're valuable, or look a certain way and then you're deserving of a certain kind of treatment. All these things that mush the fucking brain and lead you to believe that you have to be something or someone beautiful, perfect, good, whatever, in order to be treated well. No, you deserve to be treated with love, care, respect, baseline kindness, simply because you're a human being and you exist, and that's enough. And you don't have to do anything to earn loving behavior from yourself or someone else. You are inherently worthy of that. And that's something that I try to get across very often in my videos, because I think that there is literally an epidemic in our world of people just hating themselves and not believing that they're worthy of healthy love and respect, care, compassion, all of these beautiful things that we can learn to experience within and we can learn to receive from other people. But you have to devote yourself to that process. And so I hope that I covered the danger of not loving yourself and the places and the spaces and the people that it can lead you to if you do not see it for what it is and actively begin to get right with yourself. And I promise you that when you do that, you will begin to be able to register a lot more easily when things are unhealthy and not worth your time, and you will a lot more easily be able to remove yourself from places, spaces, people, whatever, that do not contribute to your own sense of love and respect and well-being. So I thank you so much for everyone who took a moment to sit and to listen to this video, and I send love to anyone who might be in some form of an abusive relationship. It is not your fault that you are being harmed, but it is your responsibility to love yourself enough, to care for yourself enough to remove yourself from unsafe situations and people, and you deserve that. So thank you again. I love you, and I pray that you take care.